behind every strong community is someone willing to build. Hello and welcome to Thriving at Altitude. I'm your host, Dave Donahue. Join me high in the Rockies as we explore conversations with entrepreneurs, community leaders, and local business owners who are building, growing, and thriving right here at Altitude. Welcome to Thriving at Altitude. My guest today is Audrey Carson, and we're going to talk to her about her time in the Valley and the things she's been doing as an entrepreneur and a community leader and a founder at Higher Elevation School. Thanks, Audrey, for being here.
Thank you, Dave. I'm really excited to be a part of this new podcast and be sharing kind of what's been going on in the healing arts around Vail Valley.
Tell us what you are doing with the school and how you came to the Valley and why you're staying in the Valley.
Well, it's funny because viewers probably don't know this, but you and I met about 20 years ago. It'll be 20 years in the fall that we both started at the Ritz-Carlton as massage therapists. And so, my story here in the Valley really begins with a great job opportunity working at the Ritz-Carlton. I had been practicing massage for about 3 years, but really working very seasonally between Michigan and then Grand Targhee and also northern Idaho. So I kind of was wintering at ski resorts and then doing my summers up on Mackinac Island in Michigan, which was a really fun way to get started in the industry. And when I was shopping for new jobs and I found the Ritz-Carlton, I had never even been to Colorado once. I actually flew out here for an interview, which was really kind of exciting. And when I moved out here, I had taken a full year-round position, which was the first time I had really looked at that. So, my story here in the Vail Valley really was this just beautiful opportunity that came. And I got to meet you, and it's been so fun.
We had a great time in orientation together in 2006.
2006.
I know it's been so long, but so much has happened since then. And we're still here.
We are.
And thriving.
Really thriving. It's true. I've been practicing massage now for 23 years, which, still kind of blows my mind. I always, when I first got started, I kind of thought, oh, this will be my first job, Right. And I think some people, it is a chapter, but massage can be such a fulfilling career. It's really, and especially in this area in particular, there's so much opportunity. I would love to take actually do a study and kind of see, we might have the most, healing professionals, healing arts professionals per capita of any other community. Yeah. When you think of all the amazing, talented professionals in this area, it's really just a health mecca in a lot of ways.
It is.
Yeah. And so, in 2010, I kind of got this harebrained idea that people should be able to learn massage here in the Valley, instead of having to maybe relocate to Denver or Boulder or Colorado Springs to get training, because it's such a life disruption. And I think it really made it very unattainable for the average person. And so I started the school. We got our license from the state in 2011, and it's 15 years ago.
And you guys have had a few different locations and a few different iterations of the school.
The school's been really fun because I've been able to do everything I've ever wanted with it. It's my initial vision was kind of a smaller business where I could be very part-time. I kind of thought, oh, this will be a part-time business. And, in the beginning, I think I realized pretty quickly that starting a new business was going to be a lot more work than that. It was I was just young enough and had just enough energy to think that it would be really easy. And so when it wasn't easy, I had enough energy to get through that part. And we started originally in Edwards.
Yep.
And I had one little commercial space there, and I had a very small first class of 6 students, and I learned so much. And then I kind of expanded and got a larger classroom space, and that kind of we stayed.
Moved out of
No, it
Edwards,
was
or
still
we're
up in Edwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of that Edwards commercial space up there. We jokingly refer to it as the women's prison.
Oh, no.
It looks like a little prison complex, all that concrete. But it was a great place to get started. I had 2 different units, and I was really able to kind of grow the school. We were offering night classes. I had a lot of great instructors at that time. And then I really kind of felt that a lot of our student body was really coming from, like further west, like as far west as Rifle and Glenwood Springs and, Carbondale and Basalt. So like we really had this like large area that we've been serving for people looking to get massage training. And so we ended up moving and relocating to Eagle. And I believe that would have been 2015, or, oh no, maybe it was 2014 we first moved. And kind of
further down valley.
Valley, yeah. And kind of like that was a great spot for about 5 years.
That was the Broadway location.
Yeah.
1.
Broadway part 1, yes.
Right.
Which it turns out like Broadway and Eagle is such a great location. It has a real campus feel to it. We've got little cafes and neighboring businesses and a park just down the way. Like, it feels really good in downtown Eagle. If you haven't been to downtown Eagle in a while, you should go check it out. There's like a lot of cool businesses happening. But we ended up then moving to Gypsum for about 5 years. We actually built out a full wellness center. I got this like idea that I wanted more, And as I was doing that, like it was a really cool vision, right? We had a float pool and we had infrared sauna and cold plunge, and it was really fun, and we were jamming, and we started in 2019, like September of 2019, and 6 months later we got shut down for COVID.
Yes.
The COVID drama, right? And so like that presented its own challenges, and if I'm completely honest, like a lot of personal reflection as well, like as to what I really wanted from the business and what I really wanted out of life, that chance to kind of pause the growth. And a lot of my core employees, I think, also took a time to kind of reinvent themselves. And, one moved to Hawaii and one moved to Vermont and one started her own business. And so my core kind of really, like it was hard for me to rebuild that after COVID kind of closures. And so, a little bit of landlord drama in there. I decided to move back to Broadway and to actually like shrink the business back to kind of that original vision of that part-time business versus a full-time wellness center where like at any moment, anytime, somebody could need us, like us being my husband and I who were working in the business at the time. And now it's much less kind of like needy as a business, which I really like. I get to take care of my students, I get to show up, but then, for me, I feel very fulfilled with my work, but I also have this like extremely rich family life, an extremely rich like recreational life, and I feel like my business can't have an outsized role as it has maybe in the past. So balance.
Yeah.
And so, throughout this journey of like 15 years of business ownership, I've tried on a lot of different sizes of business and like kind of what that feels like to be really big and have a huge team and be really looking after people. And then to have it kind of back now where it's mostly me, and I have a couple of great like allied professionals that I call in to help, just kind of bring some variety into the program. But it's really like, it's different and it's fun. My favorite thing about it is really sharing massage with my students. And, I tell them all the time, like, you don't forget, like, you are my client. Like, I am here for my students. Like, I want to see them grow and develop and have really strong skills and be able to, like, really reach their career goals. I think every great business should start with a great vision, right? Like,
yes.
I think a lot of times we start a business and we don't know where we're going per se. And there's always so many opportunities as a business owner. And especially in a place like this where there's like just a lot of opportunity, like people are going to proposition you all the time for new opportunities. Like, hey, have you thought about having a second campus in Glenwood Springs? Guess what? We tried that on for a while.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, like there was a little season where that made sense. Have you thought about, like there will always be these opportunities. Have you thought about doing, chair massage at the, wherever? Like,
right.
There's always a lot of things. And I think if you have a really solid idea of what you want your business to be when it's finished, you have a much better, you'll have a much better chance of getting there and being really happy when you get there. Because I think I see it.
I love that.
Right? Like,
yeah.
I think a lot of people get kind of lost in the building of a business. It's a really common theme. We see small businesses failing at an exceptionally high rate. And I think a lot of it stems from that like lack of knowing where you're going with it. And so if anybody is like hoping to like start a small business here in the Vail Valley, I would highly encourage you to. There's so much opportunity and so much need. But make sure you kind of know what it looks like when it's done. So then you can almost kind of backwards engineer from there.
Right.
And figure it's much easier to get where you're going if you know where it is. You
Right.
know?
You had all the action and larger team of a larger facility.
Yeah.
And that can have its challenges, especially when there's a pandemic, of course.
Like a pandemic, but also like, you know, for me, I've changed so much in the last 15 years. You know, like when I started, I was a single lady with no family.
Yeah.
And, you know, now I'm like married and have kids and, you know, just it's interesting. Like business and your work should fill a particular part of your life and should bring you great fulfillment, but it certainly can't be everything.
Right.
And when I think of thriving up here at altitude, which is the theme
Yay.
of your beautiful podcast, yay, I really think that it's got to be more than work. You know, there's so many aspects to wellness up here. And it's really making sure that you do have those community connections, and whether that's through like family or chosen family, through like great friendships and community, like we really have to make sure that we have time for that. And, you know, as we know, there are challenges up here, you know, and probably the biggest one really being that cost of living that's so challenging at times, that it makes it hard for people to make space for those connections.
Right.
You know, it's a challenge, right? Like
people get attached to the bigger picture of resort community, and you know, we can't be on vacation full time as locals.
Yeah.
We have to like take the step back and get involved in our own success, but not get lost in the kind of wave of tourism, and you know, which is a great thing,
or
and
even like
we're
just,
happy for that. But
or even just like working so much just to try to make it, right? Like that you don't take the time to like play and connect with your friends,
right.
or you know, build your community, whether it be through, you know, a beautiful thing I've been trying to do more lately is like having a lot of like, you know, family style dinners with friends. You know, I don't know. Are you into cooking? Do you like to cook?
I have been cooking more lately on my own. Definitely have had challenges with as a bachelor. So like doing the bachelor thing and the more typical, like more takeout over the years, and more just kind of, you know, one plate, one bowl, one knife, one fork, one spoon. But then more lately, more of a sense of community and cooking for myself, and joining with others, and trying to do it in a healthy way. It's a lot, because it is, of course, very tempting to be participating in some of the wonderful cuisines that are purchased through takeout and through restaurant
when it's one
activity.
person, it's very reasonable to just let someone else do the cooking, right?
Right, exactly. But no, good question. Nothing's perfect, so I'm always like trying to retool the home cooking and what I want and how I want it, so I don't make something that's gonna go bad, or if I don't make something that is too big of a batch. You know, I thought that would be the right answer, was to make a huge batch of something, but I think it's better to do like the fresh update. Maybe there's more trips to the store, kind of like European style, where you're just step out and have a smaller kind of window of time that you're looking at, and that takes a little more work too, but it's worth it. Yeah.
Well, I'm a big fan of Samin Nosrat. She wrote that book, Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
Oh, it's also a show on Netflix. You should totally check it out.
Okay.
It'll change your cooking.
Oh, cool.
She's really brilliant. But then she just wrote a new cookbook called Good Things, and it's mostly about building community through food. And that's been like so fun. Like, I really like that. I think sharing food with our friends and building community through those shared experiences.
Yeah.
One thing that she really says is like you should have one day every week where you meet with like the same crew of people. Like you got to build that little crew.
Yeah.
And we haven't quite gotten to that, like that regular routine, but I think it's such a cool idea to like have the, Monday night dinner or something, kind of something to anchor your week.
We haven't been doing Mondays. We've been doing middle of the weekend, but my band is sort of my social life too. Yeah. And so we get people together and we've been having a sushi night. So we go and get the really good cut of fish at Cut, and then get the rice prepared and get everything ready. And then we just start rolling out sushi. And I find myself kind of behind the chef hat. Like, as everyone else is doing stuff, I like to actually like make sure the rolls are coming out, and people are eating it. And that's really fun for me too, to join and share with that. Yeah. And that's definitely feel lucky to have a little crew, a little community that get to join. And it's mostly the band and other friends, but it's been a great experience doing that.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really do think that like building a community up here is like really central to finding, or anchoring into our place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, a big part of it.
I think, so let's say, you're experiencing great career success and then you're building your community. I think it's like just also really important to remember like your outdoor recreation. Like the only reason to really live up here, right? Aside from like obviously great, like, there's a lot of great reasons to live here, but like the environment, like we are so blessed with the mountains and like however you choose to recreate, it's like not forgetting that. I still love to ski. Like, I'm really praying for snow.
Yeah, it's snowing a little right now.
I know more. I think, I still like just really, and it's been fun now, like bringing my kids into the skiing world. Skiing just is such a wonderful activity. You get to be outside with friends, on the mountains, beautiful vistas. And, if you're not smiling when you're sliding around on snow, like you might want to, open your eyes a little because it's so fun.
I love the just stepping out and having the awe factor of just opening a front door, seeing mountains, and just that can change everything, So there really is, living in an urban environment is great, and you have all the conveniences, and you have different advantages of being in the cities. But being in the mountains, again, it's like you step out and you're right there, and it's just so fun.
You're surrounded by it, and now that I'm in my 40s.
No,
it's great. I'll tell you what really slaps is a great hike. Just going out, and it doesn't have to be huge. Like no 14ers needed here, right? Like just like a nice little hike. My gosh, it's so amazing. And we have it all around us here. I've tried on a lot of different sports over the years, some mountain biking and kayaking and rafting. And if it's got an ING on it, I've probably like everything except for maybe golfing.
Singing?
That is, I sing in my car.
Okay.
Yeah. But all the outdoor activities that are available to us here are just so special.
Yeah.
And I really think making sure that you kind of anchor your life in that. Did you see, I think it's Klaus Obermeyer?
I don't know who that is.
He is like a ski icon. He started the Obermeyer like ski line.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Real race history. I believe he comes from either Germany or...
Okay, one of the Alp countries.
Yes. And he's like 106. He just had his 106th birthday.
Wow.
And he's got this like contagious smile and this real joy for life. And, he really like, I saw an interview with him recently and he just talks about how skiing gave him the best life. And I feel like, whether you're skiing or Nordic or snowshoeing or anything, like being in the mountains is that beautiful, like, way to live a life. It's so nice.
It really is.
Yeah.
Tell us if you're a student and you're in the area and you are interested in getting an hourly course, a state license.
For massage?
For massage. What is that?
Well, it's interesting because the people who come to my courses are really varied. I've had people as young as 17.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had, I think my oldest student ever to enroll was 66.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? And actually, that particular individual graduated, I think, in 2022, and has had, like, is enjoying this beautiful, like, kind of sunset career. And she really loves helping people. And, you know, like, massage as a career can kind of be whatever you need it to be, you know. And I think, like, my example is, like, you know, a very typical example, because the statistics show that 85% of massage therapists will become self-employed at some point.
Right.
And so those who are really interested in kind of like that freedom in working for yourself are really, well, you know, like, going to make a good decision with massage, because it's likely that you'll become self-employed a bit.
Right.
And if you are thinking that massage might be for you, you know, a couple of questions to ask are like, do you want to work pretty independently? Because at the end of the day, when we look at what massage therapists do, right, we are working alone in a room with a client. We are making all of the treatment decisions ourselves, right? We're putting together and designing the treatment. You know, like, ideally, you don't need to be overly social. Like, you know, you can hold a great conversation with your client should they be looking for that. But for the most part, most clients kind of just want to relax and kind of, you know, go far, far away.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll be working in a environment with, like, relaxing music and calm lights. Like, you can really only ever do one thing at a time. This is not a multitasking career.
And there's no homework necessarily at first, or there
Well,
kind of is, I guess, but
it depends.
Yeah.
It depends on, you know, if you're going to do more clinical work, or if you're going to be more, you know, kind of spa oriented. You know, sometimes that homework can be chart noting.
right.
You may have
Right.
never done any of that, but
Soap notes.
soap notes.
Oh, yeah.
You probably remember it from school, right? So, of course, in training, we're going to teach you many different skills. So our average student, like, there isn't really an average student, but it's usually someone just with a desire for a change in their career, where they maybe want a little more life balance and freedom. I get lots of different kinds of interests in massage, whether it be more energy work, so people who are interested in, like, Reiki or foot reflexology, or, like, meridian healing, chakra healing,
Yep.
working with the energetic systems of the body. That's kind of like one interest and kind of path, and we do have that those topics in our course. We also get kind of our clinical people who are really interested in, like, muscles and movement, and, like, helping clients with complicated maybe movement and pain patterns. And so we learn all about that. We learn all the muscles, and we learn the range of motion testing, and we learn about orthopedic massage and how to really address, you know, an orthopedic complaint that is usually, you know, like, has some sort of muscle or soft tissue involvement. You know,
Right.
orthopedic complaints can kind of fall into two categories, like ones that are, you know, neuromuscular in nature, and those that are, like, you know, kind of more orthopedic or joint related.
Right.
And, you know, like, sometimes we have to refer out to those orthopedic professionals, but oftentimes the soft tissue work through massage is really effective at helping clients achieve more pain-free range of motion and stay feeling really good in their bodies. And then we also have kind of that full body relaxation, and, like, that Swedish massage and the aromatherapy. We also teach, like, hot stone massage.
Yep.
So whether my students want to, like, start a career in the spa, or they want to go and work for a physical therapist, or they want to do their own energetic practice, or a blend of all three, like, really, you know, massage is such a great career, because in my mind, there's not many careers where, you know, the pitch is, hey, do you want to work part-time and earn a full-time living? Right?
Right, sure.
Because we really consider full-time massage, you know, 20 to 25 hours a week. That is
Right. It's hard to do more than that, or your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we get compensated, you know, accordingly. We get
Right.
paid a higher hourly wage as compared to a normal hourly wage person, to make up for the fact that we can't work 40 hours a week.
Right.
Although I do know some therapists who do, and I kind of wonder, I don't know how they do
Yeah, it's hard
it.
to sustain that much. What's the total hours requirements? Has it changed in the state?
It
Has
did
yeah.
recently. So for years and years and years, actually, like, since 2010, really the standard was 500 hours.
Right.
And that was pretty common around all 50 states. Like, you'd kind of see a little variance between different states, but 500 hours was kind of that most common. I think it was 2012 maybe that the FSMTB really kind of made its debut and kind of started taking over. And this is the Federation of State Massage Therapy Boards. The Federation. So they came out with a new test, a new licensing standard. Before it had gone through the National Certification Board, but that board has, I think, kind of failed to make themselves very relevant in the industry.
Interesting.
And so they kind of have fallen out. They don't offer that exam anymore even. So they kind of came out, they got this great exam, and then I think maybe it was 2015 or 16, all of the big organizations in massage, so the American Massage and Bodywork Professionals and the American Massage Therapy Association, and even the certification board kind of came together with a workforce, and they put together this thing called the Entry-Level Analysis Project. And they spent a good amount of time deciding what massage therapists should learn in order to have a really great career, right? Or a great entry-level starting point. And they came out and they said 625 hours. And I was thrilled because my program was 627 hours at the time. I was like, nailed it.
By coincidence.
By coincidence.
Wow.
I mean, I was like, because I had sat down and written the curriculum originally and kind of said, well, this is what I think massage therapists need to know, which is how most massage curriculums used to be developed. It would be like the proprietor of the school would say, I think this is what massage therapists need to know. Right. And then the state would review it and say, we think you're right. Go ahead.
Got it.
So now we finally have this coordinated movement to say, what do massage therapists need to know? And it's a beautiful report. It's 800 pages long. It breaks down the curriculum in 15-minute increments based on beautiful learning objectives. And I was thrilled. So I actually integrated that. We were pretty close on almost everything. So we integrated that and developed, a program based on ELAP with that entry-level analysis project.
Got it.
And then some stuff happened at the Department of Education about 2 years ago where they said that, bless you, the Department of Education kind of said, hey, if the state only requires 500 hours, then we won't pay for programs that are more than that by 10%.
Oh, interesting.
And so then the state said, oh, well, then we'll just raise our hour requirement to 650 because the entry-level analysis project had already said that we need more 600 hours, right?
Yeah.
And so then the state said, well, we're going to beat the Department of Education because otherwise there's a lot of schools who are Title IV, which means that they participate in federal funding for student loans.
Okay.
We do not.
Okay.
As a very small school, right now, to give you an idea of small, there's no schools doing smaller classes than me.
Okay, good. I mean,
it's great for learning. I really feel like I'm able. The
instructor to student ratio
1 to 3 right now.
Really nice that way.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So you get tons of individual coaching. It's really a personal program. It's so great. But at that ratio, Title IV, doing that, the accreditation and those steps with the federal government would be very cost prohibitive. We'd have to raise our prices a lot to cover all that extra administration.
Right.
Whether it's 3 students or 60 students, it's still going to cost about $60,000 in order to get that kind of thing. And then you've got to maintain it. Yep. You really need anyhow. So we don't do that. We're just a private school, private occupational school. We are, approved and regulated through the Department of Higher Education in Colorado, specifically the Division of Private Occupational Schools. So, we are licensed and we follow all the state regulations. We just don't do that next step, which would be to take money from the federal government. So
right, which has its
ups and
pros
downs.
and cons, ups and downs.
Well, yeah, and you probably remember you went to Boulder College of Massage Therapy, right?
And that's back in 2002.
2002, same year I went, right?
Oh yeah, we were. Oh, wait.
I know. I went to massage school in 2002.
Okay, but not a BCMT, but
no, I wasn't there. I went in Washington State. A little bit smaller school than that. But, Boulder College of Massage Therapy ran into problems with that federal funding, and they lost their license due to it. So that being said, I kind of saw that all go down and was like, I don't know that I want to, mess around in that.
It was such a great experience. We had I was in the lucky sort of period where we had really good instructors, really good attention, and then, things happen where schools get divided and then teachers go a different way, instructors go a different way. There's so much involved in it.
Yeah.
So it's great to see an example of someone who's got it, the balance, and got it down to a small setting that doesn't have to deal with federal government money as well, of course.
Yeah, it's a choice, certainly in a bigger area, that would probably be a necessity. But we do have some great, if the financial part is tricky, we do work with a great company that it's called Climb Credit, and they're really wonderful for students. They do a nice interest-only plan for the first 13 months. So it gets you through training, which is about 9 to 10 months.
Yep.
Depends on which program you choose. And then lets you launch into your career before you start making a little bit larger payments.
Right.
But I've seen many students use that. But also part of that decision not to do the federal funding is just to keep our overall price tag lower. We cost less than your average school in the Front Range, which is some miracle up here.
That's very enticing for students, and it's again great that you can stay within your means.
Yeah, and that's been kind of part of that, evolution.
Yeah,
we love that word, right?
Evolution.
Evolution. I feel like if you're growing, that's beautiful, but sometimes you have to kind of reverse grow things, and just remaining really flexible and keeping, as far as business success goes, keeping your eye on the actual goal, right? And for me, the mission of the school is to provide quality education that enhances both our students' personal well-being and professional well-being. And so if I'm checking those two boxes, I feel like I'm really doing my job.
Yeah.
The second part of my mission, right, is through our student clinic, and that's to provide our community with affordable ways to have wellness in their lives. So, the student clinic offers discounted massages to locals, and really kind of brings massage down to, an attainable level. We've got clients who've been coming to us for, 10, 11, 12 years,
And it's not a walk-in type thing. It's a by appointment only.
By appointment only.
And how can people in the community find you and have access to, are we calling it student massages?
So it's called Student Clinic.
Student Clinic, yep.
So the Student Clinic will be reopening here at the end of February. I will be actually getting some new availability up on the calendar soon.
Great.
It's been a bit of an adjustment period, I think, for our clients, because we used to have massage available 365 days a year, right? Because we had professionals and students, and it was much bigger.
Got it.
We don't have professionals anymore, and now we just have our students. And so the student clinic is intermittent, and so you kind of got to just check back in with us and see when it's open. And unfortunately, because we are so small, those spots fill up pretty quickly.
And that's on the website?
That's on our website.
What's the website?
It's higherelevationschool.com.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and from there you can also find us on MassageBook. So that's our booking platform that we use.
Great.
It looks like we should have availability all the time, but we don't. So, we will have students practicing right now from the end of February through June. Intermittent days. There's going to be some Tuesdays, some Fridays, some Sundays, maybe a couple Wednesdays in there. So just intermittent days. And again, I'll be opening that up actually later this week. So
great.
Check in. Probably, I'm not sure what day this will publish, but
I'm not sure either. It's usually within a few days, so.
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
Okay,
yeah, so, go look on the website. I'll have that availability up lickety-split.
Excellent. All right, great.
Yeah. It just, those kind of two things with our eye on the community and our eye on, our students, when you come to massage school, it's really fun. Do you remember how much massage you got that year?
Oh, yeah. And I was in it for helping myself because I had injuries and I needed the healing.
Yeah.
And so, never again have I had that much trading back and forth where I had therapists help me and I helped others.
Yeah.
And that was a really great community and a way
I
of
don't
thriving.
know if most people know this about massage school, but when you're in massage school, right, the primary method of learning is through partner trade, right? So you're practicing, but you're also receiving. And really you're learning on both ends. That receiving portion is so important because you can really feel, how the techniques and how the different, little changes can really alter the way that the technique is received in the body. And so, giving great feedback and being a good receiver is an important thing. But my students are always just oh, is it massage day? because
right.
they get about one massage a week for almost 10 months.
Yeah, you really do need that as a student, and everyone needs it.
Yeah. I usually recommend that regular people, like just anybody, civilians, anybody with a body that they are hoping to last for a long time.
Those non-body people, those ghosts and spirits can also benefit. No,
right.
Just kidding.
Well, but I think that the analogy of like a classic car is a good analogy, right? Like if you were going to buy a car and you wanted it to last for say 90 years.
Oh wow, yeah.
Okay.
That's a lot of maintenance.
What kind of maintenance would you
right.
do to make sure that car didn't break down? Because you know, like you can let the car break down, but then you can't drive it for a while. And our bodies are very similar. We can let them break down, but then we can't do all the things that we love for a time. We have to stop and heal. And so maintenance prevents those periods of breakdown, right? And massage, I think, is a really great preventative medicine. Yes. And, that's one of the most fun things or the best things that I've seen in massage in the last 20 years. It's like it went from this very niche thing, like not many people were used to getting massage 20 years ago. Do you remember the way people would look at you as a massage therapist? Like, you do what?
I know. And I haven't been in the industry in about 10 years. But it was, while I was there, it definitely was, there were challenges with adoption, like sort of cultural adoption of it.
I feel like we had to sell it back then.
Yeah, you kind of did.
Guess what? We don't have to sell it anymore. Like, massage is so popular. And especially here, I think like there's something about the active population here, like people, it's just normal to get massage anymore. And so like that's been one of the coolest changes to like witness in person. And also like the elevation of massage into like a health profession. Yeah. When I started, people didn't really look at us like health professionals. Like we saw ourselves that way. But the general public was kind of like, oh, that's, fluffy spa massage was kind of the
But then
thought.
If you've ever had physical therapy or any kind of orthopedic rehab, any kind of, there's always soft tissue work that needs to be done. So from this like soft tissue clinical expression to a more adopted and popular
Well, and what's so interesting too is science has come a long way to really understand fascia and like how fascia is like literally, it's everywhere. Yeah. To the point where I've even heard this like kind of idea. It's like, well, do we really have 600 muscles in the body? Or is it one muscle and 600 fascial bags?
Ooh.
And I've done some cadaver study throughout the years. And I think that might be more accurate than we think. Like when you see the fibers of the trapezius as they come down and attach here on the scapula and the clavicle. Yep. And then the deltoid originates there. And those fibers actually are just continuous with a little band of connective tissue in between. They look the same. They look like they just go, it's like these ones just shorten up this way and these ones, shorten this way or this way. Like it's so beautiful, this continuous tissue in our bodies.
There's a metaphysical aspect to how incredible just movement, human body, helping the human body, living organism, all these things kind of come together at crossroads.
It's so beautiful. That's massage. Yeah. And then even this, how about this? You remember the suboccipital muscles, right? Yeah. Right? So they actually have continuous fascia that goes through the cranium and connects to the dura mater of the meninges. So when you're really tight in your suboccipitals, that's these muscles back here at the base of your skull for the lay people out there. Those ones that get really tight when you've been at your computer all day. They can actually pull tension around your brain, and it can disrupt craniosacral fluid flow. Did you get some craniosacral training in school?
Yeah, it's been a long time, but absolutely got a little training, got a little treatment in working with suboccipital, which is, again, and everyone has, whether you're in front of a screen all day or whether you're any kind of activity, really, it's hard to focus on having great posture all the time. It's hard to focus on having the right balance of movements and not straining yourself. So, and it's true, most people probably don't understand the body is a healing machine, and it wants to heal. It wants to get to equilibrium, but we roadblock that with all of our life things. And
sometimes we just kind of become disconnected from that natural tendency for healing. The body has everything it needs. if we give it the right environment. And,
Yeah.
a lot of times stress is that disruptor that like disrupts that self-healing. And then massage can interrupt that stress in a great way that allows that healing to continue.
Yeah.
And I find it's so fun to share this with our students. Like the program is so much more than just learning massage, right? It's learning how your body works and how to care for your body and how to care for other people and how to, like really help them reach their best like health state that they can.
Yeah.
It's really just great, rewarding work. So thankful I went to massage school. But you know what's funny is 2002 and 2003 were actually the biggest years of massage therapy graduates.
Really?
In history. Yeah. I want to say, and you guys can fact check me, but it was around like 200,000 people graduated from massage school 2002, 2003. And so it was like a real peak.
Cool.
And I think last year, about 14,000 people graduated from massage programs.
Wow.
Less than 10%. And so like what I see in the industry is a real opportunity for people interested in the healing arts is that we've got these people who've been practicing for, 22, 23 years. Guess what? Some of us are getting close to retirement, if not already transitioned into new exciting careers like Dave. There's just going to be a lot of need. Like we can each only do about 1,000 hours of massage a year. That's like about what we do. It's about half time.
That's a lot. Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But, that's 1,000 hours. And if you're doing 90-minute sessions, you might only be doing 700, clients. Well, if you're seeing people on a regular basis, how many people are you really helping? Like, is it 200? Is it 100 people, 7 times a year? Like, really, you start breaking it down. You go, oh my gosh, we need more massage therapists.
Absolutely.
We need more people.
I was in the camp of between 2003 and 2017, probably 10,000.
Yeah.
10,000 different individuals.
Yeah.
And it's a lot.
Well, it's a lot, but it's also like, what an amazing like legacy, right?
Right.
Like you helped 10,000 people.
Yeah,
That's so
absolutely.
Cool.
And I still have great memory of that career, and I miss the community a little bit, but they're still close by.
And you're always welcome back.
Yes.
If you ever want to come in and, just practice with the class, you're always welcome to.
I was lucky enough to be, what are we calling it? A participant. I was a client, but helping sort of be the body for the students at times. And that's really fun to do as well.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every now and then we do need bodies in the classroom. That's not open to the general public, for the record.
Right.
We might have other professionals come in and, fill those seats. The classrooms are really very protected space where it's learners and people who are in the profession. We don't just have strangers come into the classroom.
They have plenty of time to see strangers after they're done.
After they're done, but also in the clinic. Like there is a place for that, and it's just different, right? When you're in a learning space, that's one kind of, energy and, kind of professional interaction. And then when we're in the clinic, we're really practicing as professionals. They're putting on their professionalism and they're practicing all those soft skills that get them ready for going to work so that hopefully when they do their first interview, they feel really confident to kind of go in and massage somebody that they don't know and really give a great session.
Sounds like your students are really going to benefit from everything you've got prepared and ready for them, and it sounds like a really wholesome and just a healthy community that you've created.
Fun. And, this upcoming year, we've got 2 programs that'll be starting in September. One is going to be kind of a more traditional class where it meets 2 days a week. Tuesdays and Thursdays, and those are like 5-hour classes, so it's a partial day. It can really kind of fit in, especially if you're working a hospitality job or serving or something else, and you need something that's part-time. You only have to come in about 10 hours a week for training, and those are hands-on days when we're together. Our program is a hybrid program, so then students do the theory portion at home on their own schedule.
Okay.
And at first I was really nervous to kind of transition into this model, but it's been amazing to see how students, when they take that self-responsibility of learning the theory, how they really have thrived because, a lecture that's recorded is kind of perfect. I don't make any mistakes in that lecture and I don't take any tangents. So it's about as perfect as it can get. And if you are maybe a second language learner, or if you maybe don't understand a concept, you can press pause. You can gather more context. You can look up an unfamiliar word. You can slow it down. You can rewind it and watch it again. And so the online theory really meets students at their learning capabilities.
That's great.
And so, we've seen really great success by implementing that. And then in person, of course, that's where we want to learn our hands-on. And that's where we do our partner trades and we learn palpation, really being able to identify and also kind of like quantify or qualify what tissue is. Like, it's great if you can locate where the deltoid is. Can you tell me about its qualities? Like, so like, and that takes a lot of practice. You have to really touch a lot of bodies in order to get really confident in your touch.
Yep, absolutely.
And so it only takes about 8 months, 10 hours a week or so. And then we're going to have a second program, which I'm really excited about because I've had a lot of people who are working in specifically the school district or more traditional jobs where they're like 9 to 5, can't take off midweek.
They might not have as much time generally.
Yeah.
Right.
And so those ones are going to be kind of meeting on school district breaks, which our school district is cool. It takes about a week off every month. And so we're going to do about 3 classes during those breaks. So it's going to be a little bit more of like a full day classes. And that one will also start in September and graduate in June of next year. So it's going to kind of help meet these students who haven't otherwise been able to make that schedule work for them.
Great.
And it's pretty exciting. So we'll start enrolling our next students in the next month. So students can kind of qualify. We do have some kind of early registration benefits. So students who come in and kind of want to learn more, and then if you make that decision to enroll early, you get a little bit of a tuition discount. But all of that, you just want to come and kind of talk to me. Part of that enrollment process is really making sure that it's a good fit for you. Right. We don't want anyone to kind of not understand what the program is or what it's about, and then kind of waste time or money in the program when it's not a good fit.
Of course.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, I think we've covered so many good things. Is there anything else? Life things, moves, family things, any other sort of things to report that are interesting that the community would like to hear?
Well, actually, I've got a question for you, Dave.
Okay.
Tell me, my side hobby is real estate.
Ah, yes.
I love real estate. And actually, if we're going to talk about thriving in this valley, I think real estate is a huge piece of that. I certainly have benefited from being in this community and getting invested into real estate, starting in 2012, which was an amazing kind of time to get into the market. But I don't know if there's a bad time here because I think the adjacentness to the resort communities and the wealth that brings really brings everybody up with them. Like all the communities experience, I think, higher than average appreciation. And maybe you can speak to that, but I found it to be an amazing vehicle for building wealth and stability and thriving here locally.
Yes. As some of you might know, I've gotten involved with Keller Williams as a realtor, and I haven't talked about it a lot on the podcast yet, but it's really interesting how living in a place that is expensive, but also maintains a high level of value, maybe compared to other communities, creates exactly what you're saying. So you have a chance to get into your own home, and then it's not exactly passive income, but it's the appreciation of the home you're in. That's always such a benefit to have, whether you're a single person, whether you're family, whether you're a school, you have so many advantages in purchasing something and having it available as an asset.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I think sometimes people get afraid of mortgages or they feel like they can't possibly afford a mortgage. But I'd really encourage people to think about it a little differently because I don't know that there's any other way to borrow an appreciating asset, and we'll just call it maybe $1 million. No one's ever going to give you $1 million to let appreciate in the market unless it's a house.
Right.
And around here, I think we've had, 8% appreciation almost annually for the last
It's
while.
been really high, and there's cycles, but we buck the trend compared to many other American communities.
Yeah. And so really, like, no matter what you're doing, for me, the school has been like fulfilling personally and career-wise. Like I feel super fulfilled. I maybe don't make the most money, right? Like education is probably not the place to go if you're trying to make tons of money.
Right.
It's really like my heart's work.
Yes.
And I've been lucky that it's led me to these other investments. Like, I'm kind of like I've got a home, but I also at one point for the school, we actually bought a commercial building.
Right.
And that ended up being a beautiful investment for us. We've already since sold it, but accidental commercial real estate investors. Thank you, school, for like kind of leading me to that.
Right, you had a great facility and it appreciated.
Yeah,
and
we actually never moved the school in there. Yeah,
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, so we bought this building thinking that we would put the school there, but anybody who knows the town of Eagle, it can be a little difficult, like regulation wise.
Okay.
And so kind of it slowed us down just enough that somebody else approached us about leasing that building. And so it became just a better investment that way than actually moving the school. And that's when we ended up going to gypsum. But at the end of the day, it all kind of pans out. But, real estate around here can just be so great. And one thing, too, like especially for single people, if you are able to get yourself into a mortgage, if you can qualify for one, and then you can have like roommates that will help you then pay that mortgage down, like, and keep you really stable. Like we kept roommates for like almost my entire adult life. In fact, it's only been like the last 3 years that we haven't had roommates.
You got 2 kiddos, so it's hard to have it all, but maybe.
Even with kids. I mean, like, and that's maybe an unconventional thing, but like, that was one way that we made real estate really work for us, is by, sharing space. And like, we've had all kinds of interesting real estate adventures, including, running a bed and breakfast in Westvale and like living there rent-free. Like that was really fun.
Right.
And then at one point, some clients of ours, we were doing some like property management for them. They owned 3 homes, and so we lived in one.
Okay.
So like getting to live in a mansion.
Oh, that's right.
Like it was pretty amazing.
You've had some really great phases that you've...
so real estate's such a funny thing, but, one thing I learned from living in one of these beautiful mansions on the Vail Golf Course was really that, you're no different in a mansion than you are in a small apartment. Like you're still yourself, right?
You can't take it with you, but at the same time...
Yeah, like it's a beautiful home, but like you
it's
really...
It's a mindset.
Yeah, like the happiness and the joy and the fulfillment, it's like, it's all in you.
That's
like
right.
It's not the house.
Yes.
So that's kind of an interesting thing. Like your place is only your place, really. It's such an interesting kind of mindset to be in. You might think, if only I had a bigger house or something.
No, a lot of people are also like, if I only had got in 5 years ago, if I'd gotten in 10 years ago, or if I'd gotten in 2 years ago.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm qualified to speak to this being a great time or not. Like, I'd say I'd leave that up to my real estate professionals, but...
I think some would say that there's never a bad market, because if you have one side of it where it's a seller's market, you have a lot of competition. The sellers are thriving.
Yeah.
And then maybe now we're seeing a little more, and this always can change, of a buyer's market when there's just more inventory and there's more, you can negotiate a little better as a buyer maybe now than you could have in 2020.
Yeah.
Which
or even
knows.
2022. Like,
right.
Yeah, things got really hot there for a while. And
Yeah.
also, like, interest rates might come down. Like, a lot of times interest rates, I think, scare people off. But, what's that good saying about dating your rate and marrying your house?
Oh, I'm not sure about that. I like
You don't know that one?
No.
I'm pretty sure I work right next to a mortgage broker, which is
okay.
kind of fun. I chat with her a lot.
Yep.
But, I think the saying goes, you date your rate and you marry your house. So, like, if you find a property that you would love to live in for a long time. Because I think time is on your side when it comes to a real estate investment.
Right.
Like you never want to be trying to get out of it in 2 or 3 years. That's when you might find yourself, in a compromised position. But
I think flipping used to be more popular, and it got popularized on all the
But I think
shows,
it's risky,
but
and
so
it's
risky.
always been
Yep.
risky.
Yep.
But if you buy a home and you start really, building that equity, and you can see yourself in time, when interest rates come down, if they do, then you can always refinance. And
Right, exactly.
you can get that lower rate later. But if interest rates go up, we'll also see property values come up with it. So like,
Yes.
The rates right now are really not like that high considering, historically speaking.
Right. Yeah.
So, if people are shy, I would just really encourage them to like actually talk to some professionals because, it can be a life-changing experience to own property and like build that equity and really start, setting down some roots here.
Setting down some roots in the valley and enjoying what it has to offer, but also knowing that things appreciate and time goes fast. And no one really knows about interest rates, but you can follow a cycle. And like you said, if you have to refinance when it's time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We kind of had a fun discussion with me and my friend the other day, and it was like, if you could live anywhere in the valley. Now, I've lived almost everywhere in the valley.
Yes, that's right.
Like from Eastvale, Westvale, Eaglevale.
All around the town.
Like Avon, Edwards.
Yep.
I've even lived in Wolcott on a 6,000
acre
acre
ranch. I remember the
ranch.
Wolcott experience.
Like I've lived everywhere in this valley. But it's an interesting question. Which neighborhood or which place in the valley would you want to live?
Yeah, I feel like it's, family-oriented areas are kind of happening more down valley now. And because it used to go back 50 years and it was like ranches and farms and rural and a little ski industry. And now it feels like the valley really is blossoming to more professional services, more families, more permanent residents. It's growing. It's thriving.
But where would you want to live?
Oh, you're asking me where I would want to live?
In the valley. You can live anywhere. You don't have to worry about price. Where would it be?
Right now, I really like where I live because it's central. And if I was to choose something generally, which could be anywhere, but leans more towards eventually down valley a little more than I am now, would be a little more privacy and outdoor space. Okay. Not that there's anything wrong with the place I'm in now, but it's been...
are you thinking like Eaglevale?
I
saw a cool listing there earlier.
I'm in Avon. Eaglevale definitely has some great opportunities, and almost everywhere has like open space and hiking and trails. Like I can hike out my back door and be up in the Buck Creek area and the Walking Mountains area. Like it's my second backyard basically over there. But I don't know. I also have this vision for my own music because I am a musician and want to play later, louder sometimes like that. Maybe not have to be in headphones all the time, is to maybe have a space with a little more range so that neighbors aren't as close, but that's tough.
You want to be able to make more noise.
Yeah, a little bit. But also be quiet when I want it to be quiet. Yeah. And then have it be loud when I want to have it be loud, which is a lot if you live in a kind of a more condo or townhouse environment, which I do now.
It's more of a single family.
Yeah, and I have to really put the wireless headphones in early if I want to listen to something or watch something, and I don't want my neighbors to freak out. So something like that, and that could be any neighborhood. I mean, that could be Eaglevale, could be more down valley. It's not too bad to have to commute a little bit, as you know, because you're probably going up and down the valley still.
Yeah, we're in Cotton Ranch, which has a lot of really great things. Like I have a hard time thinking. I really love where we are. It's so convenient and beautiful. But I think if we could live anywhere in the valley, I might go back to Singletree.
Interesting, right.
Because it's so sunny right there. Like it's such a beautiful aspect. And a lot of those homes were built, I think, really beautifully. And they're not all on the golf course, right? There's a golf course, but there's a lot that aren't on it.
Yeah.
And that's such a cool neighborhood. I would really...
There is a nice neighborhood feel there. And if you have kids, they could ride their bikes or go play or get to the park or go to a trail or take pets out.
But we'd be giving up the walking to school thing, which we have now, which is so nice.
Trade-off.
There's trade-offs with every place, right?
Yeah.
But I do think Singletree is a cool location in the valley.
I think we've just answered that you kind of can't go wrong. Maybe if you were I want to live in Vale Village, that's might not be super practical,
kind of
depending what you want,
Yeah.
Because then you really are living a vacation life, sort of. But
where that bed and breakfast was. It was right off of the South Frontage Road, right on Gore Creek.
Oh, okay.
A little I think they call it an enclave, right?
Yeah.
Called Alpine Creek. It's just past that Conoco, and that was a special little place. I'd move back there in a heartbeat.
Interesting.
Unfortunately, it sold for like $3 million, so not really
Okay.
in the cards right now,
Yeah.
but you never know.
I think 3 million is the average now in the
Is
valley if you take all of the inventory.
Wow.
So that's like right in the average, which is crazy to say.
Right.
And like so far out of most people's means, but not
But
impossible.
there
Yep.
are things that are affordable for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And getting something now means in 5 years you won't say, I wish I had bought 5 years ago. So so there's no time like the present. I think people have maybe a little bit of trepidation leveraging themselves out and then committing, but it's a fear of success thing because once you're in, then you have to like step up and commit and stay involved.
Well, have you looked at any of the good deeds programs through the county?
I don't know if I know about the good deeds programs.
Oh, I should definitely hook you up
Okay.
with, one of my neighbors works there.
Okay.
And helps people work that
I'm
program.
gonna do some research
But,
on that.
Yeah, through the county, depending on the type of deed restriction that you agree to, when you purchase, you can get to up to 20% of a purchase price of a home that's under $850,000. They will contribute towards the purchase of a home. Now there are some tricks, whether it's a price capped or a employee
Qualifying for those,
thing.
right? There's a few other programs similar to that.
Yeah, and Avon has some cool programs too. So
the state and the feds, and there's there's other ways to get involved with, borrowing at the right means for you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But I think the first purchase I think is the most important one. You got to get started at some point.
That's
Start
right.
building that equity, so that
Yes.
then someday you can kind of move that equity into your next place.
Yes.
Which is really cool.
Well, hey, thank you so much for being here today, Audrey. It's great to hear
really
all the different
fun.
things happening with the school and life, and time goes so fast, and we're here together in this community, and there's a lot of exciting things happening.
Well, it's fun to see you thriving and trying new things. I love it.
Thank you so much.
Really cool.
We'll be back next time with some more community leaders, and we thank all of our watchers and listeners. If you want to get in touch with any of our guests or with me, you can just reach out. Thanks again. If you have any questions about any of our guests or want to be part of the show, please email me at davedonahue@kw.com. Feel free to reach out.